is going on, guys? Hope you are all doing very well. So it's been a little bit of time since I've recorded a video like this, but randomly this memory just popped into my head out of the blue, and I was like, this has to be a video. So the story is going to take us back all the way to 2010 and my freshman year of college. Can you guys believe I've already been in school now for the better part of a decade? That is crazy. So, feeling old aside, this is going to involve one of my good friends at the time, whose name I am not going to mention because she is a real person out in the world and doesn't know that I'm making this video. But this person who I'm referring to had like maybe 8 or 9 side hustles, and she knew someone who basically invited her to a seminar. I should mention, it's probably in the title already, this is going to involve MLMs, or multi-level marketing companies, which it's been explained to me, and how it's not a pyramid scheme eludes me, but basically you have, it's organized into tiers, and you have a branch off each tier, and when you draw it as a diagram, it's exactly a pyramid. So how it's not a pyramid scheme, I am just baffled at. But my friend at the time knew this person who invited her to what turned out to be one of their meetings. And, I should say this about me. It is embarrassing how easily I'll go places with the promise of free food. But, you're young, you're maybe a little bit impressionable, but part of it is you're in college, you want to be open to new experiences. Plus, they sort of lure the ability to kind of make income on the side, and, when you're in school, you need money for textbooks, school supplies, things like that, and especially for architecture, everything just adds up so quickly. So, I remember it was maybe a Friday night was the presentation. It was definitely during the week, I know that. So it was in one of the cities near my school, and we went to the bus, and, got off at the bus station, and I remember walking there, and it was kind of a mix between sort of a nightclub and a bar. But as we're walking there, outside of it, I forget the name of the company now, but it was a soda, and the can was tall and skinny, and it was orange. But as far as the company name, I forget what it was. But outside this place where they were giving the presentation, there were 2 cars, and both of them were wrapped in orange with the company name and everything. So, as we're walking by, immediately I'm like, whoa, what is that? Especially since, one of them I remember being a Mercedes sedan, and I forget what the other one was, but, high-end, like, luxury cars. And, I'm not somebody that needs to be rich, but even that sort of caught my eye. I'm just like, I have a car, but a Mercedes would be nice, wouldn't it? So, we get into the venue, and we're kind of just mixing in with everyone else who's there for the presentation. So, in later years, I would come to find out how heavily MLMs lean on recruiting. At that time, I had no experience with them. I didn't even know that was a business model, and I certainly didn't know what we'd be in for that night. So, as soon as we get in there, I see the table with all the food, and it's kind of like little snacks, finger foods, that kind of thing, which I'm certainly not complaining about, but I beelined it over there. I get a little plate of food, we start talking to some of the people there, and it starts with a naming, who the top salespeople are, like the best performers, basically. And one of the people there who was actually invited by my friend got one of those cars. And I was like, whoa, it's like, it goes right into your mind. You're like, noted. This can be a thing. So in hindsight, I'm sure that was very much presentational and part of it, and sort of to, plant that seed of an idea in your mind. So after that, it's time for this presentation that they're giving everyone who is, well, at least in their mind, will be recruited into their company. So the first red flag for me, as it's going on, I'm just like, you know what, this person presenting is just like, they're not like making promises, they're saying what you can achieve, if you do well selling for them. But here's where sort of the logical side of me comes out. I'm like, this guy's not really being specific on how, like, they make their money, which seems strange. Like, you guys know, just a regular business, you sell a product or service, you get paid for that product or service, and you sell it for higher than it costs, and, that is the great economic machine that keeps everything moving. So this didn't really have that feel, and I was just like, I don't know exactly how to describe it, but sort of to use the vernacular of today, the vibes were very much off. And, after that's over, we sort of break up into these little groups, and I'm sort of, I should say the second red flag was, after that was over, I'm having questions like, sort of what the heck is going on? How is the money here being made? Like, what's the business model? It just doesn't seem right. So as I'm asking people, like, specifics on everything, everyone is very, very vague. And I'm just like, that's so weird. Like, how are these people making money? Like, how is this sustainable? This seems, basically at that point, I was just like, this seems sketchy. So I'm like, kind of doing this with my friend. We're like going back and forth. Like, what is going on here? And, it would turn out that she didn't really know that guy too well who invited us, but, she was very much into sort of side hustles, getting a little bit of income to help pay her way through school. So, I'm sure, I don't have to tell you guys how alluring the promise of money can be. But, we're sort of exchanging side glances between the two of us, like, basically without saying anything, we're like, I'm giving her a look, I'm like, are the vibes off? And she was like, just sort of bouncing back, the vibes are very much off. So the third and final flag, or red flag, excuse me, for me, and the thing that was just like, okay, this is definitely off, like, we gotta get out of here, was when this guy that I didn't even know, like, just kind of sees me standing around and makes a beeline for me, and is just like talking to me right away about joining his team and like blah blah blah, all that, like, the promise of making money basically, and join my team, everything will be good, blah blah blah. So that's what really sealed it for me. Was I was like, here's a guy who I don't even know who is being all nice to me, and I know why he is. Like, even me not knowing what an MLM was, I was like, this guy, something is in it for him if he gets me on his team. And notes on everything. I was just like basically trying to understand exactly what was going on. So it probably wouldn't be about, oh goodness, maybe 3 to 4 years after that I really found out what MLMs were, what they did, and how predatory they can be. And so guys, if there is something like that you come across, say no. Just don't do it. Don't even get involved. The people at the top are the ones who make the real money. And you have to be like the 1% of the 1% of the 1%, like the top, tippity top. And for everyone else, just, if you look at MLM horror stories online, you see a lot of people obtaining a particular status, and in order to preserve that status, if they get into a slow period, they end up just like buying the product themselves and like storing it somewhere, hoping that they can move it later. And a lot of times they just can't, so they have like a room or a garage just filled with like a drink, makeup, supplements, all that kind of stuff. So my best advice to you, if the vibes seem off, they probably are. And if something seems too good to be true, it probably is.